So welcome my Alchemy Healing Academy tribe. So this video is to support you on changing your diet in 2024, the diet manifesto. So what I mean by diet, we're going to get into this. I have a document that you can actually access below. And the whole goal here is to support you guys with manifesting a new life. And the word diet comes from the Latin word dieta, meaning way of life. So you're manifesting a new life for yourself. There's never been a better time to do that than right now, right here in 2024. So I have this document. I'm going to go over it via video. You also can download it within the newsletter. But here we go. Let's just get into this, you guys. So welcome to the Diet Manifesto for 2024. I'll give you a short backstory and then we'll dive into the process of changing your diet to perform at your best. That's what this is all about. So first off, this year is going to be big. By big, I mean there will be massive changes happening in the world, and your diet, or shall we say way of life, will be integral for you to not only perform, but excel in 2024. This document will provide you with the details to eat in such a way that calms your nervous system. That's a very key point. That calms your nervous system, strengthens your gut health, and manages the stress that the world seems to keep brewing up amongst all the changes. All the changes happen in the world. It's not good or bad, but the key thing is learning how to manage your own energy, and your diet is the best way to do that. On a personal note, my father is having a knee replacement surgery this year, so he and I are fully committed to helping him lose 15 to 20 pounds before that surgery so his recovery will go smoother. I'm joining him in this journey to lose 10 to 15 pounds myself. And if you're reading this, I would like for you to join us on this journey as well. I will do my best to make this document concise and to the point, but it'll likely be a few pages. But tune in, and I promise you will get some gold nuggets of wisdom from ingesting the wisdom here. Yeah, I got to lose a little weight myself, you guys. So let's begin with the basics. Mindset. Success is 20% strategy and 80% mindset. So if we wish to stay committed to our goals, it's integral that we have our mind set. It has to be just boom. This is what we're doing. Like I'll talk about this in a moment. Making a big shift in this last year myself, because many of us suffer from food addictions, but it's really the hormonal response we get from certain foods. That's a very key point, the hormonal response we get from certain foods. So as of this video right now that I'm making on the 31st of 2023, last year, it's been 1 year exactly today that I stopped drinking alcohol, and I had to shift my mindset around what alcohol meant to me and how it would affect me long term. And now this next year, taking the same approach, but with sugar and high glycemic carbs. And as I mentioned, I hope that many of you will join me on this journey to improved health and performance. It's like, who cares how much money you make? Are you going to be around long enough to enjoy it? That's part of the reason why we do this. So when it comes to our diet, this is a very important paragraph right here. When it comes to our diet, okay, we must reframe what the word diet means. They'll be like, oh, diets, I hate diets. Well, it's all about getting some clarity to relieve any anxiety people have around their diet. If you've ever been coached by me in the past, you've likely heard me say that diet actually comes from the Latin word dieta, meaning way of life. So for years, people say, well, I hate diets. Like, you hate your way of life. That's the brutal, honest truth. You hate your way of life. And so when you start to shift and realize that diet is just my way of life, now you can be in love with your way of life. Like food should be a great way of showing how you love yourself. So what this means is is your diet, what you eat, is your way of life. And more specifically, I'm talking about your gut health, your gut biome, and what few people in the West know about, which is known as the mesentery system, which we're not really going to get into today. But the mesentery system is basically the fatty tissue in your gut. And when you have excessive fatty tissue, the organs don't connect with the brain quite as properly. So that's why cutting a lot of these high glycemic carbs out is so powerful for your improved cognitive performance. Okay. Now, this right here breaks it down. The best way to look at your diet is to see your gut health like a battery. And with each meal, you're either charging that battery up or you're depleting it. It's all about the assimilation process. Is this food cultivating qi or depleting it from a Taoist perspective? An example would be if you ate fried food versus some sauteed veggies. The fried food would actually deplete your energy because of the amount of energy needed to break down and assimilate the trans fat. Just an example. While the vegetables, the sauteed veggies, would be easier to digest and improve your gut health because of the nutrient density. A big key factor here is the acidity of the foods that we eat. I'm not going to get into the whole pH balance of foods here, but simply limiting acidic foods from your diet will greatly shift your gut health. It will greatly shift your gut health, not just the acidity, but the inflammation that you get from a lot of the foods that you eat. I'm not going to get super deep into that stuff because there's tons of stuff you can look up on the internet, but eliminating acidic foods, high glycemic foods, and inflammatory foods, your entire body will function at a much higher level. The key to sustained success is to simplify things. Simple, simple, simple. In this document, I'm going to include some content that will help you with what to buy and, more importantly, what to stop putting in your body. Your body's a temple. Treat it as such. Your food is what creates a prison in your life or sets you free. Your body is made up of cells, and a poor diet creates a prison cell within you. Kind of harsh reality there, guys. But a lot of people are like, why am I so sick? It's like the food you're eating is creating a prison within your body. I always love this quote: "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." A great way to look at your way of life is: will this heal me or will this harm me? The root of the word health is heal. You look at the beginning of the word health, it's heal. And your food should be your medicine. A proper, balanced, and simple diet will keep you performing in such a way that life becomes effortless, and you'll attain what is known as the Tao, as flow state, known in the Tao as flow state or Wu Wei. Now, speaking of Wu Wei, let's go a layer deeper into what a proper diet means from a Taoist perspective. To attain proper health, it's all about the flow of qi or life force energy within the body. You can even call it soul energy. Next month in my online academy, we're going over psychic abilities. And what we talk about in psychic abilities is psychic energy. And the food that you eat has a lot to do with your psychic energy as well. So there are only 3 ways to cultivate qi in the body: through proper breath. This is why we teach breath work. Okay. Proper sleep, getting that proper rest, and the food that we eat. You could even say that the breath work has to do with your exercise too, moving that qi through the body. So breath, sleep, and the food that we eat. Those are the only 3 ways to bring qi into the body. You want to be able to have quality qi moving through the body. Now, a key thing that a lot of people don't know about is that the stomach is related to the earth element in Taoist alchemy. Later this year, we'll be getting into the 5 elements of Taoist healing, and I'm excited for anybody who wants to tune into that within the academy. Now, the stomach, as I said, is related to the earth element in Taoist alchemy, and often people who struggle with weight gain are using the food they eat as a means to ground themselves. Remember, the earth element is associated with the stomach. So it's a way to cope with stress. And yes, I have definitely done this myself. Okay, like, oh, I'm stressed out, so I eat. And the earth element, the stomach is associated with anxiety, right? So we're using food to cope with our anxiety. So the reason I mention this is so you can begin to shift your perspectives from what you're eating to why you're eating it, from what you're eating to why you're eating it. If you feel stressed, it's better to eat grounding foods that come from the earth, like sweet potatoes, carrots, beets are a few examples. And speaking of what you should eat, let's begin to go over what changes you can begin to make. Okay, there's a short and sweet document, you guys, just some basics. I could talk about this stuff for days. I've actually gone on dates and bored women to death because I talk so much about nutrition. I don't do that anymore. So if you're looking to lose weight, what can you drop from your diet? Here are a few examples. So super simple, guys. Cutting out the white stuff: bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, cocaine. Joking, you probably will lose weight with cocaine. Anything with a high glycemic index. Excessive carbs turn into fat in your system. Excessive carbs turn into fat in your system. This includes crackers, muffins, and potato chips. Fried foods, fast foods, processed foods, any food that has a long ingredient list are likely to be highly processed and contain many preservatives. A great way of looking at this: if it has a long shelf life in the store, it will likely have a long shelf life on your belly too. So when you look at an ingredient, like look at the ingredients list, it's a freaking paragraph. It's like, should I really be eating this? Like, these are just simple tools to begin changing your diet or your way of life. Okay. So a lot of ingredients, like I've looked at like ice cream, like, holy shit, like there's a shit ton of ingredients here. Like, why is there so many ingredients? It's just me, milk, butter, eggs, and whatnot. I'm not an ice cream expert, right? So, and even like just like trail mix, sometimes like just get basic trail mix. Sometimes they add all these weird like canola oils and whatnot. So like be careful with the trail mixes too. Now, eliminate or limit your consumption of alcohol. This is a game changer for most people. As I mentioned, it's been 1 year today. I'm really super proud. 1 year, no alcohol. And so that's been a game changer for me because I mean, even personally, like when I drink, I'm more susceptible to eat crap that I don't need because I'm like, oh, I'll burn it off tomorrow. Have a couple beers and yeah, but just better to cut it out completely or just limit it if you can. I do better when I cut it out completely. Now, I will mention it's okay to have some carbs, but limiting your consumption will create a vast shift in your mental and emotional performance. Like literally, like when I cut carbs out, I have so much more energy because like I eat a salad, I can go right back to work. I eat a big sandwich or a burrito, I'm like, oh, I'm so heavy and bogged down. I have to go like rest a little bit before I can get back to work. So I'm super excited for this next year to not be consuming those higher glycemic carbs. So I'll be able to get more work done, build this awesome website for you guys. So what foods can you eat to activate your metabolism and still feel satisfied? So I always tell people this, the foundation, this has helped so many people. Like I've literally helped thousands of people lose thousands of pounds all over the world as a diet coach for years. I always tell people the foundation of your diet or a way of life should be nuts, berries, vegetables, and fruit. Okay, be careful with the fruit, not too much. Choose quality sources of protein, organic, free range, no mystery meats. What's in that bologna, bro? You don't need that bologna. Okay. I cannot stress this enough. I struggled with this when I did my first strict diet years ago. Making sure you're getting plenty of good fats because as you cut those carbohydrates out, your body's going to be like, what do I use for fuel? Increase your good fat intake, and your body will slowly begin to turn to fat as a fuel source more readily. Key point there, as you're cutting the carbs, increase your good fat, where my brain was bonking out when I did my first strict diet back in my early 20s. So keep that good fat at a high level. Some simple cheats to make things easier is to have a bag of trail mix. Remember, be careful which trail mix you use, less ingredients, you guys. Or have some almond butter. That's my go-to. So wherever you go and you get a snack attack, oh my God, I need a snack. Happens to me, right? Especially if you're working out hard. Okay, you get a snack attack. You always want to be prepared. We'll talk more about preparation in a couple moments here. Also, and likely the most important part is drinking plenty of water. So it's all big right there, okay? Drink plenty of water. This is going to help you to stay full, help to cleanse your system out. This can be a struggle for some people, but upping your water game will help flush out the old toxins and gunk from what you were eating, especially after the holidays. I tell you right now, I've been enjoying myself after the holidays. I even had some fried chicken sandwich with macaroni and cheese last night. It was my last cheat meal. It's so good. I was like drooling, like, this is the last time I'm having these carbs for a while. It's so good. Emotional eating. We're just going to touch on this. Okay. If you guys need help with this, feel free to reach out to me. I'm an expert at teaching these things. Keep in mind, there is an emotional component to eating. What foods did you eat when you're triggered? What foods did you eat when you're triggered? Let's even take it a step further to deeper and say, what's triggering you? I'm not going to get into shadow work here, but pulling that thread to find the root cause of your emotional eating will be pivotal in lasting changes in all areas of your life. The awareness around what's coming up for you in the moments when you are triggered will offer you the greatest breakthroughs in shifting your diet or way of life. If you need more help, please check out my Shadow Awakening video course available on my website, alchemyhealingacademy.com. Yeah, I got to do some plugs for my website because if you need help with that emotional stuff, dietary changes is great, but you may need to do a little more deeper work working with that shadow. That can change a lot of things in your life. Check it out at the front page of my website. How to handle sugar cravings. Okay, lots of good little nuggets of wisdom here. Now, don't get me wrong. Who doesn't love the taste of sugar? I grew up having a small bowl of ice cream after dinner, so I still get sugar cravings at night. Okay, so here's how I handle my sugar cravings. Have a stash of dates or some frozen fruit or some dried fruit to go to, especially in the first couple weeks, if needed to keep you from falling off the wagon. I'm not saying you have to be perfect on this diet. Like if I get hungry late at night, I get a sugar craving, I'll go have a couple of dates and that satisfies my sugar craving. And then I get some good fiber in my system. So it's all about being prepared. At first, it can be difficult to cut out sugar, but imagine the warp speed that your mind can operate from without sugar in your life, instead of creating this yo-yo effect with your energy of the sugar spikes, okay? Having a few simple cheats to support your dietary shifts is okay. And the key is not to be too hard on yourself. Go easy on yourself, guys. It's not easy, but it gets much easier. I think I'm gonna say that again later. So my father, very successful filmmaker in Hollywood, made lots of movies and TV shows you've probably watched. He worked on The Crew, and he always told me to remember the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Before the week starts, make sure you are stocked up on food that you need for the week. I have a grocery shopping list included at the end of this document. Okay, it's in the newsletter if you're watching this from the newsletter. To help me prepare, I usually switch to quinoa instead of rice. So I cook up a batch of quinoa to start the week. plus pre-cooking some of my protein. And I've also had clients pre-cut their veggies for the week to make the cooking process easier. So the more you prepare yourself, like on a Sunday, prepare, you don't have to prepare all your meals, but I'd say like 70, 80% of your meals, you should know what you're going to eat ahead of time. Because when you're crashing and you're like, oh, what do I eat? That's when you're weakest. That's when you're going to make the biggest mistakes. So the more you prepare, the more successful you're going to be. As I mentioned here, the more prepared you are, the easier it'll be to succeed. Be patient with yourself as you change your diet or way of life. At first, it's not easy, but it gets easier as you set up new routines and habits that make you feel great consistently. Like when I'm on a strict diet, I feel great all the time, all the time. If you need extra support, please contact me at odyandrianos@gmail.com. I've helped thousands of people lose weight. I'm not attempting to be a full-time nutrition coach, but if you need extra support, I include that with my coaching. Also, check below for a basic grocery list of what you can eat for 5 days. There's also a vegetarian section at the bottom of this document. I'm not excluding you vegetarians out there. So I'll just scroll through it real quick. We have this little grocery list. You can check it out. Super simple, super basic. Okay. 5 days of what to eat. Just scroll through it. And the vegetarian list as well. It's all there for you to change your way of life. And I will share this last little short story with you guys. So a big game changer for me when I changed my diet years ago, I had this vision that I wanted to open my own gym years ago. And I went on a strict diet and I changed everything. And within like 3 to 4 weeks, like my brain was moving at warp speed. And like I feel like my connection to what's called the quantum field was just amplified. Okay. Because I had changed my diet. My gut health was so much more amplified by changing my diet. And literally, it was a few weeks after I came off my diet where I actually found my first gym and everything in my life shifted. And I attribute a lot of that to me making those dietary changes, because as within, so without. We talk about that within the Hermetic principles within the Alchemy Healing Academy. As you change yourself internally, the external world changes. If you need any support on your journey to changing your life, please feel free to reach out, join the Alchemy Healing Academy, check out my Shadow Awakening course, or hit me up for some one-on-one coaching. Thank you for watching. Let's kick butt in this next year, 2024, the Diet Manifesto, baby. Much love, y'all. Peace.